You.
Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see.
Sing it, Karis. Thank you. Show.
For the music that comforts my soul. It's the all around town.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program today. It is hot topic Tuesday. Hot. How you doing, Karis?
I'm good. Driving with my man.
Speaking of hot, look at Jim.
Right?
All right. What's going on today?
Well, we got lots of appointments and not enough time, so we're on the road doing this.
On the road again. I hear you. All right. Well, we're going to talk today. Let's see who's checking in with us here a little bit. Of course, first guy on the YouTube channel is Glenn. He's here every day. Thank you, Glenn, for being here. Stephen Bell from Don't Tell Steve. He just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Jimmy Kilroy is in the house. Hi, Jim. Let's see. Steve Stein
Jim.
checking in.
Yep.
Scotty Long. And Ditch. Hey, Ditch.
I thought you said bitch.
Ditch. He might be a bitch. I don't know. He's a good guy. He is. There's Gina McCann, the lovely Gina McCann.
And lovely. I'm so bummed I missed her show Saturday.
Me too. I was really having FOMO, as they say, because I missed it. Yes. But it looked great. The videos I saw look good. Thank goodness for Bill. Wild Bill Video, as I call him. He had the videos up and I got to see it.
Videos. Hey, Kara.
Hi, Kara. How are you, Kara? Good to see you. I'm going to see Kara tomorrow night. She's going to be in her best 70s attire. Kara will be in 70s outfit tomorrow night as we do Name That Tune 70s night. She's going to dress up. I know she will. So, Karis, what's new in your life today? Anything before we start this mayhem?
Nothing exciting. What's new with you?
How's the allergies been? All right, or whatever's going on.
I don't know if that's what it was, but way better.
Yeah, it was awful last week. I was awful last week. It was terrible.
I feel like everybody around me is sick.
Yeah, I'm glad that's over with. So we're talking today about don't mess up my house. That's what we're talking about. Don't come into my house and trash it. This isn't your frat party at the stage. And so often I see stages that are absolutely destroyed after a band show. How about your place?
Oh, Sean goes in. My manager goes in on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and I can't even tell you the amount of phone calls I received from the band last night. Left all the mic stands out. There's garbage everywhere. There's glasses everywhere. I'll come in and there'll be people will put their phones up or video up on the poles and use stuff to tie them up there and not take them down. And they just destroy it.
Yeah, like taping stuff up and doing that.
How would you like it if I came into your house and shit on your couch? You're not gonna like that very much, are you?
No. And I see it a lot. And the thing that bugs me the most is when I follow somebody into a place and do a show. And I mean, not only have they left trash on the floor and junk like that, but they use gaff tape like it's some kind of commodity. I mean, this stuff is stuck everywhere. They tape down everything. And when they tear up the cables, they pull them up and leave the gaff tape on the floor. And that's like stepping in chewing gum. I mean, that stuff's so sticky. And I'm sure you have to deal with getting that off the floor and everything else. It's crime. It is. It's crime.
It's awful.
It is. So if you're watching today, guys, you've had any experience with this, please drop a comment for us. We'd love to hear from you. Hi, Ray Renee. Hi, Kareem. Thank you for being with us. Who else is checking in? Kareem says that sounds like a sticky situation. It is. And the other thing is bands are notorious for putting a beer bottle on the floor and kicking it over and spilling and not cleaning it up. I mean, they just tromp through it, and pretty soon the stage is this smelly beer sticky mess like you're in a bar on Route 66 somewhere or something. It's awful. It's awful.
It pisses me off. I don't want to have to come in and clean up after you. That's not my job.
And Ray says that's a big one for her. She's part-time bartender, so she tries to make their job easier. Yeah, I mean, some people get it and they care. And I was at Heather's the other night, and I looked. There's an area behind the stage. There's a railing that goes all the way around that property. Care if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a fencing. And between the stage and the fencing is about a foot, and it's about a foot deep there. And oh my God. And this is all bands. This isn't customers. It's only the bands access that area. And I mean, it looked like a trash can back there, from broken drumsticks to paper to old set lists to stuff. And, she picks it up all the time, but it's like weekly. She's got to go in there and clean these. And they're notorious for just dumping their aluminum cans back there, their aluminums. And it's awful. And I can't say awful enough today, because have some respect for the venue you're in, right? I mean, shouldn't they respect
it? Oh, it's completely disrespectful.
Would you invite somebody back to your house for a party if they came in and basically dumped a trash can on your floor?
Yeah, no.
No, they're not coming back. No. So maybe people ought to think a little bit about that when it comes to rebooking. If you trash and smash the stage, those days are over with. We're not rock stars. We're not Joe Walsh and trashing hotel rooms and bars and all that. You got to respect what people own and what they have. And what Glenn say here, he said, when I go someplace and set up my lights, I take everybody's tape back down. Absolutely. And you have to, because first of all, it's a courtesy that they let you do that.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, people need to start asking as well. You want to put something up on my wall? Ask me. You want to turn off some of my lights? Ask me. That's not yours to make that decision.
That's why rules are made, unfortunately, by places. And, the ones that really get it are the rental halls, places that do rentals, and they have birthday parties or, 50th anniversary parties. And people come in and decorate, and they don't realize, would you go home and stick duct tape to your wall at home and then rip it off at the end to pull the decoration down and pull the paint with it? No, you wouldn't. But people do it in those places. Well, we rented the place, so that's part of them doing business. No, it's not. Froggy's has the same problem. I talked to Stacy and Rich about putting a logo back there, and they said you wouldn't believe how many times a month we have to paint the wall behind the bands, a year, because the bands just beat it to death. With their equipment and stuff, and that's terrible. And they was like, I'm not going to spend money on a logo if it's going to get trashed, and I get it. You've got the luxury of some buffer back there against your wall. You got those speakers and things and all that, but like a drywall wall, man, they'll tear it up. It's crazy. But I'm looking at comments. Let's see what we can get today. Scotty Long says biggest pet peeve, having to clean up the stage before you set up. Yeah, it sucks because you come in to set up, you're ready, and then you've got to spend an hour cleaning up before you can set up. And that's I always allot a lot of time for that when I'm out doing stuff. Hello, Ed Sawicki. Let's see. Kareem says not just with bands, seen patrons put their beer on the stage next to the. Oh yeah, they'll sit a beer down a full draft glass right next to the pedal boards and things like that. It's crazy. And I had someone use one of my speakers as an ashtray one night. There's a handle on top of my speaker. I use these smaller QSC speakers when I do my trivia stuff, and I put one outside, and it was sitting out on the patio, cords running in it, and there's a handle there. And these people thought it was an ashtray. They're putting their cigarettes out. It burn holes in it and everything else. This is a $500 speaker, and they're just putting out their cigs in it. I think they'd had a little too much to drink, maybe.
I was going to say.
But yeah.
They don't sound
maybe.
Smart.
And Scotty saying that setup takes long. Yeah, I am too. I like my cords to look good when I set up. I don't like to leave it trashed. And I certainly leave it better looking than when I got there too. Same with me, Scotty. Very good. And Bill says, stop booking him. They'll get the message.
You'd think, Bill. You would think.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. And Ray says, bring all your empties to the bar after the show. Yeah. Clean up after yourself. What's up, TJ? Thank you for being here today. Good to see you, buddy. And Kara. Kara remembers that picture I posted in my speaker, with the cigarette butts in it and all that. I mean, how dumb can you be? I mean, it's the thing that's making noise, people. It's not an ashtray. Last I knew, they didn't make ashtrays that had speakers in them, but you never know. What's Jim think about all this? Jim, what do you think?
Dude, it's just unprofessional.
Thank you, Jim. A man of few words. Unprofessional. Yes. Let's see what else we've got today, Kara. Okay, Kara's out there. Chris Will.
Any comments?
Chris Will says that was my beer. Yeah, no doubt, Chris Will. No, he knows better. He knows better. And Daniel's from the Weekend Effect. How are you doing, Daniel? Leave the stage clear and you found it. Yes. And, maybe if some people... everybody, all these bands that we talk about having contracts, Karis. They want to have a contract with the bar and all that. Well, maybe the contract ought to say, if the stage is trashed at the end, you lose X amount of dollars too.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
would-
not every band does it, but I think the last time I just remember Sean was so irritated because they left every single mic stand and cords and everything up there. So his messages to me are always because now he's the one who catches them all. But I would think, but no, people are just, it's more of the sticking stuff on the wall for me that pisses me off.
Scott from Spongeworthy says it, rock and roll, it's supposed to be dirty. I love it. He says he's joking, but yes. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of dirt that goes along with the bar. It does, and spills and things, it happens. And your people at the Bell and the Bear, Karis, I always laugh. It's like they have ESP. If somebody spills something, someone appears like in a second. It's like, there's a sensor in the floor that says there's some kind of spillage happening, and they're right on it.
Well, I think that's just because of the people that go there. They're just so nice and amazing that they go and they know exactly who to tell. So they're always, that's the nice thing about all those regulars and good people is they'll go take care of it themselves, which is kind of nice.
Do you have any worst case scenario, something that's happened in your place that just absolutely baffled you? Why they trashed it or did that to you?
The bathrooms, women in the women's bathrooms, are you talking about the toilet? Jim knows what I don't know what's wrong with them. If what was the one thing? I think Jim's had to put in a new toilet 3 times because they'll get so drunk. What was the last time they got so drunk and I don't know what they did, fell off the toilet and broke the toilet and there was a huge flood? Was that the one?
Yeah, the cracking the porcelain.
Oh, cracking the porcelain bowls. They'll stick full toilet paper rolls down the toilet and clog it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, how old are these people? You start thinking that they're old enough to get in a bar. They ought to know better. And I will say, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. People, I'll probably get hate mail for this, but women can trash a restroom worse than a guy
100%.
anytime. And if the
100%.
toilet plugs up, women will aerial into that toilet until it is overflowing.
100%.
Men will come out and say, hey, the toilet's plugged up. We're going to go pee out back or something. It's that kind of thing. But, oh, my gosh.
I have been in this industry for over 25 years. And it's always been like that. The women's bathroom is always 10 times worse than the men's.
Yeah, and I don't get that because normally you would think, and I would think that women would be cleaner when it comes to bathroom habits. I mean, you would think but
too much toilet paper rolling around there for women. We got a lot more shit to wipe.
How did we get from our stages being dirty into women wiping? That's what I want to know in this show.
So we talked about bathrooms.
Because we're into bathrooms, right? Yes. Oh my God. I'm reading these comments here. What's Kareem got to say? Says, has been curious about if the band trashes the stage, would insurance cover it? I don't know. How
know.
bad trash are you talking about? I mean, bands have burned bars down with pyrotechnics and things. There's been tragedies over that, but I don't know about. Has anybody ever damaged anything to where you wanted them to pay for it, Karis?
No, not other than
No.
paint or my toilets.
Right.
Knock on wood.
Thank goodness. Anybody have a story on that one? I'd love to hear it if you do. And TJ is saying hi to Jim. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting quagmire when it comes to bands and they're policing their own area. And the other thing I've noticed too is sometimes
out,
maybe
bud.
What's that? Did you leave me? Sometimes I've noticed that the bands themselves aren't always the ones trashing it, but it's their helpers at the end of the night. Sometimes they'll get a few beers and they'll throw their beer cans around and things like that up on the stage. So they're the people that are helping them load out. Karis, you're in a bad spot right now. If you can hear me, your video's choppy wherever you guys are. Hey, 7 West, thanks for being here. Tina says bathrooms as well. I would not want to be the person that has to clean bar bathrooms. I've done that in the past, but I'm not ever going to do that again. It's just awful. And Karis is in a frozen mode here. And yeah, Dewey wants to know what's going on in the girls' bathroom. Who puts a whole roll of toilet paper in the toilet? Who breaks the porcelain? I mean, that's a big girl. That's a big girl it is that can do that. Yes. And Ray wants to know who does that kind of stuff too. Well, I lost Karis. She's going to try to log back in, I'm sure. We'll see what happens. Or she's going to call me, one or the other, and we'll do this by audio. So let me get the phone ready just in case she gives me a ringy-dingy. So, yeah. The sink had to be replaced once. Not sure what was happening on the sink. Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen sinks broken off the wall. I had somebody one night, some friends of ours, Mr. Burroughs, where I do my trivia on Tuesday night. Somebody went in the men's bathroom and there was a nice Sailor Jerry sign on the wall in the men's bathroom. And they ripped it right out of the screws right out of the wall and took off with it. And they actually saw them on the camera and saw who they were and went and found them at another bar and got their sign back. But I mean, unbelievable. People are that bold. It's crazy. Bob. Yes. And lots of what's 7 got to say? She said he does the best. You're a tidy kind of fella, 7. You're not one of those. And I think sometimes this results in the more, I guess, the drunker the band gets sometimes as to how they leave the stage and what condition. But the other thing we were going to talk about today, Shane DeMoss, that's funny. The other thing we want to talk about today, too, is we were getting ready to talk, and I lost Karis here in the cyberspace. We were getting ready to talk about bands leaving equipment behind and who's responsible for that, because, you know, it really shouldn't be the bar's responsibility for you to pick up your stuff. And I saw somebody recently who played and left their stuff overnight and said, we'll come back and get it in the morning. Well, that's all well and good, but what happens when something gets ripped off? Who's responsible? I don't know, but that's what we're talking about. Keep the comments coming, guys. I'm going to see if I can get Karis back on the line here. If not, we're going to check out here shortly on this Hot Topic Tuesday. She's on the road, so it's a little tough for her sometimes to get in here and do her thing. We are in the studio today in Springboro. I want to remind you, we do have some programming notes to tell you about before we get into the rest of the comments. Chelsea and the Chain on the show tomorrow live at noon. We're premiering their new single called Save Me. That'll be on tomorrow at noon. You can watch it anytime, though. You can check it out anytime after the fact. And Dewey says a late night pizza joint that had to replace an entire sink. Yeah. Unbelievable. Hookups gone wrong. And Tina's got 5 bathrooms. Oh, you got a lot to clean, Tina. A lot. Hi, Olivia. She says it's amazing we can make babies raise children, but women are downright nasty in the bathroom. I don't get it. I don't. I never, until I actually worked in the business years ago. I always thought women had the most pristine bathrooms. They were clean. You know, it was the boys that were peeing on the floor and those kind of things. So interesting. Says she hates using public women's restrooms. Thank you, Olivia, for that. And Shane says that sign's been stolen 10 times. I agree. And it's right there in full view. I mean, how can you do that and walk out? There's cameras all over that bar and everything else, and people just think they can do it. You can't exactly tuck that sign under your shirt. It's kind of large. Yes. And Gina says, have these people been in public before? Yeah. I mean, who puts a whole roll of toilet paper in a toilet? Unless you're just being spiteful, unless you're just a rotten person. I don't know. This is a great topic today on Hot Topic Tuesday. And now if we can get Karis Log back in here, they must have hit some area of the abyss when it comes to the interwebs. So we'll see if she gets back here. Yeah. Tina said we used to have 10 signs in the bathroom. Most got ripped off the walls. Yeah. I mean, you know, and people want to have nice places, but they want to rip things off the wall then. So you just leave it plain painted and be done with it, hopefully. Hi, Rebecca. What's going on with you? Are you in Texas today? Dave Shore says all the drains clogged, had to get an emergency plumber. Someone flushed an adult diaper. Oh, my God. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. People, if you're too drunk to pack your gear, you're paid for your... How dumb. Yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's what happens. Sometimes the bands get a little too tipsy to pack their gear up and leave it. I would never, to be honest with you, no offense to any of the bar owners, but too many things happen overnight in bars and I would never leave my expensive equipment there. Just not going to happen. I've seen guys leave, you know, $5,000 guitars sitting on the stage, walk out and forget them. I left a t-shirt the other night at a bar and I was disappointed in myself. And I wasn't even drinking. Yeah. Yeah. Take a before and after pic or video of the whole stage. It's a shame it gets to that, Bill. It is. But if anybody's had an experience with anything getting trashed in your venue or bands leaving the stage trash, please drop it in the comments here. We got a couple more minutes. I don't know where my co-hostess with the mostest went. She oftentimes does an Irish exit like that. And Kareem says that's actually a fantastic question. If it wasn't in the contract, then I'm responsible for your equipment. You leave it overnight, someone breaks it, steals it. What happens then? Yeah, exactly. Who's responsible for that? Because I guarantee you the musician's going to say, oh, you got to call your insurance company. Well, that's a claim. And you know what happens when you make a claim? Insurance. Yeah, that's another scam, another day to talk about. And Tina has no problem putting something up for the band if they left it behind. Now, if they leave it all for the next day, I'll do best I can watch it, but something's missing, not her issue. Amen to that. You can't be the equipment police. And and the other thing that gets me is I've acquired a lot of equipment over my years, and not because it was there for 3 weeks. I'm just going to say mic stands, things like that. People leave them 3 or 4 weeks. No name, fair game at that point, man. You know, I hate to say that. I'm not a thief, but you leave it behind, I'll clean it up for the venue and take it with me. Cables, you find cables there. Hey, David Thornton, how are you? Thanks for being here. And Olivia, hola to you. And yes, that's funny. Daniel Brush. I'm looking at your comments, guys, as we roll through here. I've lost my co-host on a Tuesday. I apologize for that. It happens. It happens more than you think. But you're all here. So while I got you here, we're looking for hot topics to bring up and to have other people on with us. So if you'd like to join us sometime and bring up a topic, Daniel Brosh, I've got one in the bag that you sent me. We're going to be talking about soon. And those kind of things. Yeah, Dewey agrees. He said he always assumed the female bathrooms were immaculate and smelled like perfume and roses. Cushion seats. Yeah. Apparently not, Dewey. I don't make it a habit of, but I have cleaned up female bathrooms after the show, and awful. Awful, awful. Yes. Yes, Valerie says use the men's restroom. It's expected they are not clean. Well, yeah. And Stacy, here she goes. I knew Stacy, if she's out there, she'd come in on this one. She can't begin to describe all the damage done in bathrooms at the bar. Yeah. I mean, who rips a divider between the toilet and the urinal in a men's room off the wall? I mean, who does that? Some drunk idiot. That's what happens. And Jim McCarthy, teach your children well. Thank you for that. Hello, Mike DeCulvey. Yes. She's seen men puke in a urinal. Yes. I was at a Oktoberfest one time. They had those portable toilets, and it had one of these giant urinals in it that's like 20 feet long, and it's like a metal trough thing. And there was a guy hanging in it. He was hanging with his arms in it, drunker than hell. And I'm thinking, the things that go on in the nightlife. Yes. Yep. What do we got? Yeah, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Valerie throwing in there. And the bartenders have to scoop it. Oh, yuck. Yuck. You guys are making me all ill today. If you've ever been to Annie's men's room, if you know, you know. Yeah, there was a place I used to go that the men's room was in front of the urinal was so bad that the floor had basically been eaten out. There was a crawl space under the bar, and the gnats would come out of this hole at your feet. I don't want to get into that too much, but yeah, it was interesting. How about a great topic today, people? The trough, Ted Martin says. Yes. Yeah, it was one of those portable restrooms and it had a giant trough in it. And, this guy was hanging in it, just basically drunk and puking in it and everything. It was awful. So we're really here to talk about bands trashing the stage. So the big message for the day, and Karis has dealt with it. I've seen it at a lot of places. Clean your stuff up, including your tape and everything else you put on the floor. Some bands come in, they like to put the black light tape down so their singer doesn't step off the stage and all that stuff. When national acts work, it's real important that those kind of things get done, and there are people who handle that, and it's important to clean up after yourself. And Bob Klein says it's irresponsible and lazy to leave your gear behind. Seems pretty crazy to leave your moneymaker behind for any reason. Yeah, who leaves a $5,000 guitar sitting in a case on the stage and then wonders why it got ripped off? Ask my friend Kevin McCoy. He came home from New Year's Eve one night, left it in the back seat of his car. The next morning, the car window was broken. It happens, people. It happens. Yes. And Ray said it was exactly like that at Mr. Burroughs. It is. Mr. Burroughs' restrooms are very nice. They are. But I'll tell you, in the men's room, they've had to replace a sink. There's been some stuff going in there. And then people rip the molding off the wall. The molding. You got to, Tina says men piss on the floor. Thank you for those words of wisdom, Tina. Man, this show has gone to hell in a hurry today. It has. And where's my co-host? What happened to my co-host? She hasn't even called me. She must have gone to the abyss because she said she'd call if it trashed out. Yes. Rebecca says they own an amusement company in Texas. Trash the pool tables and games. Yeah, it's nuts. Here's one from Dave Shores. Had an event. Jilly's found crap all over the walls in the women's restroom. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't understand what people do. And yes. And you think Stacy should call in with her most disgusting stories? Yes, I'm sure Stacy could tell me all kinds of things about what goes on at her place. And they keep a nice place too. I mean, most venue owners try to keep it clean and nice. It's when they actually give up. I mean, and our friends at the Soft Rock Cafe had their divider between the toilet and the urinal in the men's room torn out so many times, the little door to the toilet, that they put a shower curtain rod up and a shower curtain to pull across it. So you tear that up, they can replace it. And, thank goodness it's not one of those clear shower curtains where you can see in there. But yeah, people just trash it. And Kara, don't get me started on that one. Oh my God. You got to clean the bathrooms at certain places. Yeah. And I got to get through a few more comments here, guys, and then we're going to get out of here because obviously Karis is not going to make it back today. And we appreciate you all being here, though. And Stacy says, too gross for public discussion. A dirty man's underwear stuffed up in a ceiling. Oh, my God. What the hell? You can't make this up. You cannot make this stuff up. It's crazy. Thanks, Ray. I'll pass that on to Marcy and Rick that you love the smell of their women's room. It was nice. And dirty underwear in corners before. Yeah. Who does that? Who does it? I mean, I've seen bars where people throw their bras on the stage. They get hung up, but I've never seen dirty underwear get thrown around. But that's great. Thank you, Daniel. I think most band members on here did say what, and you know, I would believe most of the people that follow our show and that are part of the music community that we help promote here would be good people, and they would leave the stage nice. But some of the worst I've seen are the entitled, and I hate to say it, national acts. And I mean, they have people for that, I guess, but they'll come in and trash a place in a hurry. Green rooms, things like that, just absolutely trash them. And thought about an OnlyFans from bar owner's point of view. Wouldn't that be good? You could probably be a TikTok sensation with that too. If you just told stories from the restroom of the bar, that'd be awful. It would. Thank you, Rebecca. I love these conversations too. It's so much fun. And guys, we're going to cut out of here. I've got to get to Mr. Burroughs. Speaking of clean smelling restrooms, I've got to get there tonight and do some trivia. Tomorrow, Chelsea and the Chain live with us at noon here on Haul Around Town Radio. That's going to be happening tomorrow. And if you don't watch it at noon live, if you can't, you can watch it anytime after the fact. We're premiering their new song called Save Me. Save Me. Yes. Save me. See what Stacy said there. Batteries. Oh, yeah. Batteries, strings, broken strings, set lists, spilled drinks on the stage. Yeah. And we were talking earlier, I don't know if you were on here, but I was talking about your back wall. How many times you guys have to paint that thing a year and those kind of things to clean it up. It's crazy. Hey, Lee Dixon. Hey, Lee, I saw your video the other day. Really enjoyed your video on all your gigs. Send those to me, will you? I'll put them on the list for Thursday. Absolutely. Send those in, if you will. But you're a busy man, Lee Dixon. What a great guitarist Lee Dixon is, everybody. If you haven't heard him play, get out and hear him. He's awesome. Awesome sauce. Yes. She has to paint her new wall already in the new venue. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, join us tomorrow at noon for Chelsea and the Chain's world premiere. It's a world premiere of their new song, Save Me, tomorrow. And we'll be live on Thursday with Who's Playing Out. It's brought to you by Stacy and Froggies in Monroe, Ohio. They've been a long-time sponsor. We appreciate them so much. We're going to get on out of here, cut out for now, get out and support some live local music tonight and the bands and venues that bring it to you. And Lee, I bet I've got 200 guitar picks from following bands on stages with shows I've done. Just laying around. I mean, I never have to buy a guitar pick again. I've got plenty. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time. We're going to leave you with our theme song, Sweet Sister Mercy, doing this one for us. Rob Nadler in the studio, mixing it up. Thank you guys for being here. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Working for the weekend, and I wanna see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice.